Hey, how's it going, DGBA? Ksavage here, admin for Poison Point. Here with Endless. Introduce yourself if you want, but we're here with
Hello.
we're here with the DGBA Poison Point PRs. So, yeah, it should be fun. Hopefully, it won't take too long, but we'll see
Yep.
how it goes. You want to start us
You
off
never
there?
know with these things.
Oh, I know
Sure.
it's always so ridiculous, but all right, yeah, I guess we'll
Yeah.
start off number 16. Take us off, Endless.
Sure. So we start with Spoink. We both generally agreed the team isn't great. First, I noticed it's really slow. Like top speed Whimsicott is rough,
Yeah,
and
that
just like no priority. It just doesn't feel like a Gen 9 team with no priority, no speed.
Yeah, I get like some people might see this and be confused, but like I don't know, Necrozma is like I get Iron Treads is like one of the best like glue and support pieces around, but like Necrozma just I get it's supposed to be a demon with Terra, but I don't think that speed allows it to be up to its full potential for what we thought.
With
I just think speed creep this gen is like there's so many more higher tier options in the speed department that it's just not going to be able to keep up with its speed tier at +1.
Yeah, and especially with no rock polish or automize means it can't get the +2. It makes it a lot less branding automatically.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Or I know it's like
I don't know. I guess I'm not the biggest fan of Chi-Yu either. It's a lot of points for little
It's
fish.
it's a Friday. I don't, and 25 for this thing with Terra does not seem worth it at
Yeah,
all.
I get it's a nuke and it's gonna do that, but I don't know. I don't see a
And
true sweeper on this team to be honest. Most of the time, I mean, there's options, yeah, but it's limited.
yeah. Also, the only Ghost Switch is Chi-Yu, so Dragapult and Spectre matchups are going to be aids for this team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm actually not sure how you win those games. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Spoink loves Chi-Yu, I know, so we'll see how they do with it. I'm sure they'll do fine. It's Spoink, but
yep, yeah,
all right.
sure.
On to the next one. Number 15. We have Ultra Player with the Philadelphia Soldew. I don't know. This is weird to me. At first glance, I was like, hell yeah, this is a good team. And I don't have it ranked nearly as low as you do, but Endless has it at 16 and I have it at 12. But I don't know. The top two are just amazing and there's so many good glue pieces at the bottom, but then it just kind of fell off for me. It feels like. I mean, the removal is just not there, obviously. Uh,
Yeah, no, just kind of ways is like yes, the top like four are really good. Like you have two insane offensive mons and two really good support mons. It kind of just falls off after that.
yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I'm a big fan of Pheasantipity, but like with Terra.
I feel like the Terras on this team are really weak compared to a lot of the other teams. Was one of the reasons I really didn't like it. Like Fundy's fine, but like it's not nearly as strong as the other options in this format.
Yeah, I agree. It's just like the 22 and 23 point suck really just killed off like how they can glue this team together. And I get Thunderous is a decent like Terra option for sure. It's really good, but I don't know. I feel like this team's gonna actually struggle to be able to check what it needs and break what it needs each week. It's just gonna be too centralized around a few mons, and one piece falls, it's gonna go down pretty quickly as well.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I think the breaking power isn't really there. One thing I noticed that spikes are really hard for a team. Not only set them, which Zama would like and Dark would like to wear down their checks, but they don't really have the Oko potential that other Pokemon have. There's also the removal is Lorantis, so Zama coming out spikes repeatedly just go wear it down, and make it a lot less effective.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I just don't like Lurantis as your only way of removal. And I mean, I get Swampert got knockoff this gen. It's a really good knockoff user for Zama and Darkrai, but
True.
I still don't see it. I don't know. With Lurantis, I feel like his team's just going to fall behind and lose so many turns.
Yeah, I like Lorantis, but I think it's not enough on its own, and he's just getting a stacked out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Ultra Player is pretty shisty, so like, I'm sure they'll
But
kill it and do some fun
he'll,
stuff with this. But
I'm sure he'll find a way around it, but on paper, it's rough.
yeah, I agree. It's gonna have some. It's gonna need some creative prep to really shine. I think. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that's all I wanted to talk about with this one. I don't really.
Yeah, I don't see him.
It's fine. It's just I get you have two really good speed tiers, but like I don't know. I feel like you're still missing holes in there where people are going to be able to.
Yeah, I can see it for sure.
Anyway,
Like he has fast mons, but I know it just they don't. I don't know how to phrase it, but they don't do what you always need fast mons to do.
yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. we'll see how it goes for him, I guess.
Yep.
Um, on to number 14. We have Mia, Tinked Up White Girls. Murder's okay. I like it. I have it at 11.
Great logo, great logo.
Yeah, totally. Just see that thing picturing down a Corviknight ready to go down. Yeah, I have it at
Oh.
11. Endless has it at 15. The team is Iron Boulder, Corviknight, Ninetales Alola, Manaphy, Hydreigon, Quillfish, Sinistra, Jolteon, Sandaconda, Blaziken, and that is Speed Boost. Terra Captains are Boulder and Hydreigon. I don't know. I have this team a little higher than used to. I actually think this is where the teams for me, Ultra Player and this team, where the teams for me started to like go up a little bit, started to separate themselves from the 16, 15, 14, 13 area, I guess, for me. And I actually think this team could go off. I don't know. I feel like six Mons are pretty likely to come each week. Is my only problem with it. With the occasional option, I really would have liked Jolteon as a Terra here, and maybe not put the suck on Hydreigon almost for this match.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I feel like Jolteon's just a better abuser of it than Hydreigon. It needs it more than Hydreigon does.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Boulder's just going to be an absolute demon. I think that's one of the best new mons with Terra in the format. I may be one of the few that think that. I don't know. I think it's better than Gouging Fire. I just
I'm
think
not
it's too
sure.
offensive. I think it's just. I think it can set up on most
I,
things with Terra and not care. Like, you're going to get the plus one speed, plus two, and there's nothing you can really do about it most of the time.
yeah, it's quite good at that for sure. One thing I noticed that I feel like Hydreigon's gonna be forced into a support role a lot because it's like his only real hazard setter. Her only real hazard setter.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. I mean, I always forget this thing. It's Stealth Rocks now. It's just kind of catching me off guard. And the
Yeah, for
fact that
some reason.
none of the new Iron Mons like Boulder, Crown, any of them get rocks.
Yeah,
So
Florida doesn't get rocks. Yeah. Also, I don't know. I just don't like the Terra Dragon. I think Manaphy is another option that would have been really good with Terra. Either Manaphy or Jolteon.
yeah, one of those two.
But
Honestly, I don't think Manaphy needs it, so I get it. But I don't know. At the same
yeah,
time, I do feel like this team is actually going to do fairly well. I feel like Mia's going to
I,
really have fun with this team. I think Blaziken, if you just
Mia's very good.
slap a Life Orb on this thing, it's going to break teams each week. Life Orb Protect. You don't
Round
really.
10 Blaziken
I don't
is
really like when people
wild.
try to
Round
like
10.
force SDs on Blaziken. I feel like it's not the mod to do it. Just slap a Life Orb and get as much breaking power as you can. It's
Just
not going to
break.
sweep. Yeah, just
Just
break.
punch holes.
Just punch holes and let Boulder,
I mean,
Hydreigon, Manaphy, anything else clean up.
and she has the Queeners anyway with Boulder and or Manaphy to an extent Jolteon, so it doesn't really need to be a Queener itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she, I mean, Mia's a pretty good battler too. I mean, I don't know how much she's played this gen, but I know
Yeah,
Mia's a
this
really solid
I
battler
don't know.
too.
I
I'm
just
trying to keep that out of it, but just going off team comp. But yeah, I feel like she's going to utilize
yeah
this team fairly well, but just based on how I've played her in the past.
yeah I don't know. It just feels very linear to me. That's kind of why I played so well. Is it feels like it's going to be doing the same thing every game, and it doesn't feel unstoppable at that. Is my
Honestly,
issue.
that was the only reason I have it down to 11. I think this team could have been much higher, but like I feel like Blaziken's just going to be Life Orb every week, Boulder setup every week. I mean, they do good, but like I feel like it's going to be predictable what's coming each time.
It's going to be very predictable. And Veil, like honestly, I don't think Veil is that good this gen. Just because like Ninetales is not a good mon. I would rather just have screens from a mon that's actually good than you have to use Ninetales.
Honestly, I would rather like Hydreigon and Ninetales got dropped and just picked up like Grimmsnarl. I don't know if that's available in this tier, but like I
That
feel like Grim would actually
I
fit
think
really
that
well here and free up a lot of points to get slapped that Terra on Jolteon or
yes,
Manaphy.
and then get a rocker so you don't have to have rocker stand to every game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I don't know. It's still a fun
it's
looking team though.
I will say my gap between this and Ultra Player was pretty big between my 16 and my 15. Like Ultra Player is the only team thought was actually bad. I think this team is still good, it's just like very weak compared to a lot of the others, in my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair. No, yeah, I get it. I think it's funny that I have Mia and Ultra Player both like up around what the 11, 12 mark, and you have them as like the bottom two of yours. I don't even know who I have down there. I'd have to check. I can't remember anymore. But actually, speaking of that, the next team. This is my number
We have
16.
flat. Yeah, so and I had 10. So
Yeah, do you
I
wanna?
don't actually think. Sure, I'll go first. I think this team is particularly bad. I think the top three are obviously very good hazard core and just very good hazard core. And they can all break as well, which is really appreciated. Walking Wake is a very strong mon on a team like this where you can remove waters so easily with Masquerada. Um, well, I kind of wish there was a second Terra on here because Walking Wake doesn't want Terra every game. But other than that, I really like this team.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I guess for me, it was just like I know you have immediate speed with Wake and Sun and Meow. But I've used Great Tusk and Goldango, and on paper, I know they're great together. But it's just a lot of points, and honestly, Goldango can be just. I'm not super big on Goldango, is why I think I have this low. Between not being super big on Goldango, Azelf, and then that bottom three, I just think you're going to be relying on Sun a lot in this, like in almost every
I
matchup. I
agree.
feel like Sun's going to be way too centralizing, uh, and I feel like you're not going to really have much counterplay outside of Sun on this team.
Yeah, this team. That's kind of your problem with Wake in general. I feel like I wish there was a bit more offense towards the bottom that could make up for if you can't bring Sun. How do you compensate for that? I
Right.
agree. I don't think Golden goes that good. I think it's decent on this team, but I agree it's not that great of a mon overall. Like it's fine, but 15 is probably about right. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel that great.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just bias on my part, honestly, for this one. Like, I get Great Dust and Goldango,
Probably.
like literally excellent partners, but I'm not a fan of Walking Awake and Sun after trying it out. I don't think it's that great. I mean, I think if prepped accordingly, you can stop it fairly well. And I'm just not a huge fan of most of the mons on this team, especially
Yeah. That's,
Enamorous too. It just feels like such a momentum suck most of the time.
oh yeah. And MT is so bad. I tried it myself, and it just like every week it just felt like a switch in once healing wish mode. It was so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. This probably is more around a 10-point team, honestly, but bias plays a role here. Sorry, Slap. I like you,
Yeah.
just not the
I mean,
mons.
I had some real you would hire, so yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. On to number 12 overall. I had it at number 13 in Endless 11. We have Devin with Rokugan owners. You have a Palafin, Terra Sneasler, Clefable, Terra Heatran, Gliscor, Gengar, Electrode Hisui, Grafaiai, and Cresselia. Um, for me, I I don't know. I just don't think Clef's worth it. I think it's actual trash this gen. It just gets two tapped by any of the new stronger threats. It's just power crept out, in my opinion. Heatran's not a good mon either this time. I think they've both lost a lot, and same with Gliscor in draft. I mean, I get it's decent on ladder, and I get you can make up for it, but Cresselia is too passive, especially without Terra. Electro Tisui, I feel like, is just, in my opinion, we still have it overpriced, and I'm just not that big a fan. I'm just not a big fan of overall in this team. I mean, I love Palafan and Sneasler. They're going to be demons, and good luck checking them to anyone who has to face them. They're just
Yeah.
absolute monsters and mons. But like, in the synergies there, I really don't like Clef. I think it's kind of bad this gen and just an absolute waste of 14 points. I'd almost rather not have a fairy and just Terra something into a good fairy.
I can see it. Yeah, I had a bit higher. I think just the top seven, they're all pretty bringable to most games, even if they aren't as good as they were in previous gens. They still have their fundamental bases there. I don't know. I just thought he was pretty solid. One thing didn't like was there's no removal, and a lot of these mons don't want boots. Your Paladin wants a usually in their items. Sneasler doesn't usually want boots. Electro's decent with them, but like just in general, hazards could be really annoying.
Yeah, no, I
I
can see
mean,
that.
and also is there a team with a ghost problem? Like I feel like in the Spectre matchup, you're supposed to tear your Heatran into normal and hope.
Hope for the best. And even then, like Heatran lost so much. What doesn't have? What did it lose? Eruption. I mean, uh,
Lost Toxic is
lost
another big one.
toxic. There's the other. I don't know. I don't think Heatran's that good either. I think it lost too much. And even with like the Flash Fire plus Terra, I just still feel like it's not going to be that great overall. I feel like it's going to get picked
I
off.
would I would honestly rather have Terra the Electrode or even the Gliscor or Cresselia over the Heatran. I don't think Terra Heatran really does that much for this team.
Yeah, Gliscor I would actually really like too. I think that helps it tremendously and puts it on par with me for how it used to be even without Roost. But like I don't know, Heatran's just it's not there for me, and I do think Clefable is absolute just trash as gen. I really do.
I have not seen it enough to know, but the fact that I haven't seen it at all is kind of telling that it's not getting drafted very much.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's upsetting because like Palafin and Sneasler can just, I don't know, in tandem those two could
The
probably just
top
just
two
break
will
and
win
win games.
games.
Yeah, they'll just win games with the support down below. I just feel like you could have put those 14 points, honestly, those 28 points between Heatran and Clef anywhere else, and it would have made this team a lot better.
I kind of agree on that. Yeah.
And
This isn't really a big thing, but triple fast poison is very funny
it is actually
with
pretty funny.
Sneasler,
Yeah,
Gengar, Grafai.
yeah, that is actually
Yeah,
pretty
I
funny.
don't think the team is bad. I agree that like this team's trying to do balance in a gem where balance doesn't work as well.
See, my thing is, this is what one of Devin's first leagues back, I think, since he started playing again, and I don't know.
I
I
think
know
so.
he's used to the tried and true like Gen 7, like Lando T's and Clefables. Like he's good with it, but I don't know. I don't know if he knows they didn't lose stuff, but I just don't think they're really that great this gen. But I'm sure Devin will still make work with it.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. You want to take us next one?
Sure. So next up we have A12 and the Arkham City Delibirds. We both put him around low middle. Ksavage at 10th, me at 13th. Is seen as a Terra, Ogrepon, Heartflame, Terapagos, Rotomosh, Roaring Moon, Orform, Monkey Dory, Dugtrail with the Access Defense, also with Terra, Golwork, and Wigglytuff. Uh, yeah. I Terra Heartflame is great. I kind of wish the. I don't think he should have spent the points on getting a second Terra captain, but you always want Terra Heartflame. That was one of the things I really felt was kind of a waste of points there.
Yeah.
Also, no fairy, which isn't always the end of the world, but when your steel is Orform, your fairy being Wigglytuff is rough. And Heartflame really doesn't like dragons either because it kind of needs to tech play rough for them, and a lot of times they can just get around that. So
Uh,
dragons and Zero kind of just a big issue.
yeah, that's fair. Um, I don't know. I didn't necessarily see that with Dio because it was only a 2 point upgrade from Hearthflame to DoD, so I think it's a good
I
defensive
I
utility
didn't,
to have it.
I didn't realize how I thought it was more, but I guess only two then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. That's the only reason I don't mind that too much. And I don't know, honestly. I think I really, really like this team a lot. Not a fan of Orthworm, but like it works. Dougie's fine. I think it's gonna do stuff. When I ranked my teams, I hadn't seen Tropicos do anything yet. I haven't really seen it at all. But I think my opinions changed on it quite a bit since I actually initially ranked this. Um,
It's better than I thought it was. The Terapagos for sure.
yeah, absolutely. And honestly, Roaring Moon, I know people, meme on it a lot, being kind of mid and whatnot, but like, it works here. It works here with Monkey Dory and Parting Shot. DOD as your defensive backbone. You got niche options with the trio and Wigglytuff that can work. Washtum's just, I mean, it is what it is. I think it's a decent team.
Washington's still great.
I probably would have ranked this a little higher, actually. I didn't know what to think of Terapagos when I initially ranked this team, to be honest. I mean, until like literally a day ago, I don't think I had much of an opinion on that mon at all.
This feels very much like an A12 team to me, which
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people tend to underestimate teams. I'm probably underestimating it. I'm sure he'll make it do a lot of work. It just felt weaker than a lot of the years to me.
Yeah, I can see that. And I don't know. I think HL is going to go off with this team. It's like so niche and
I,
funny. It's just going to work.
it's such an A12 team. It's like the definition of an A12 team.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, solid team though. On to number 10, and we have Bacon, the tantalizing tentacles. Yeah, this team. I don't know. I had him at 14, pretty low. Unless you had him at 9. We have Urshifu single with Terra, Slowking Galar with Terra, Cinderace, Landorus. It is Sheer Force for those who aren't sure about that. Azu, Mandibuzz, Klefki, Noivern, and Glaceon. Um, See, I really don't know. I'm mixed on Urshifu this gen. I don't think Lando's that good. I think Klefki's also kind of mid. It just gets taken advantage of too much anymore. A lot of mons to
Uh,
just abuse, in my opinion, and take advantage of with setup.
Honestly, I feel the opposite about Klefki. I think it's one of the best anti-bullshit mons in the format between T-Wave, screens, spikes, Trick Lagman Tail is something I've seen come up a lot to just neutralize a threat that either tears into electric or ground or dark. And I
That's
still think Klefki's really good, but on the other hand, I think Mandibuzz is going to get used very hard. I agree with that one.
that is fair. I don't know. I think when I was looking at this team and going over it, I was thinking, Wow, Terra Dark is just funny against this team. Period.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things I know. It is that Terra Dark is really annoying.
It's just
Also, I don't,
everyone's gonna Terra Dark against you, and I know you have Azu, but like, I don't know.
I don't get the Terra Floking Galar. I just don't understand what the purpose of that is really on here.
No, I don't
I would
either.
almost rather use a guy in another Mon that was better upgrade something like Mandibus to something that's not Mandibus. Or even like may give it to Noivern if you do like a special breaker of like Boom Burst or something.
Right. Well,
I just don't think
what was
Floking
the
Galar is a
point
great abuse
upgrade
for
for
us.
that anyway? It was a 2 point upgrade. I don't know. Like,
Um,
I feel like you could have done so much better with anything. I know it's only 2 points, but like, I don't know. I feel like Noivern getting that extra power, maybe being able to change its type, because it's a really good fast defensive utility mon. Landorus getting that extra breaking power to really push it over the edge. Something, because I think Lando was only like 3 or 4 point upgrade. I think he probably could have fit that.
yeah. I definitely will say I probably put this higher because I do really like Klefki this gens, and I think differing opinions on that mon can kind of be shown here. But I think generally it's good mons on his team, but the Terra Soaking Gore is really weird.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. This team probably would have been higher. I just don't rate Klefki and Mandibuzz, especially with Terra. I don't think I really ever have rated Klefki too high. But I mean, I see where it can go off. Like, definitely, Klefki's definitely an issue mon. Like, it's good support. Um, yeah, I agree though. I feel like, I mean, you have plenty of breaking power. I'm just a little worried about your offensive like speed and capability with sweeping. I mean, I know you have a Cinderace, but like Noivern gets worn down. I mean, you're typically dropping Dracos or missing your Hurricanes, dropping your special attack. Um,
Yeah. This team does feel a bit lacking on offense. I do agree with that. I think it can keep up with it if it's played well, but this team will require being played really well to work.
yeah, I don't know. I'm sure Bacon will do fine. I've seen them do amazing all the time. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, on to the next one. We have Bronson and the Ariana Grandes. You want to get
I
this?
love this pick.
Yeah.
Sure. So Ksavage put him at 9, 5 put him at 12, so both kind of middle of the pack. He has a Terra Tornius Varian Iron Hands, a Terra Excadrill, Primarina, Iratar, Pichurunt, Latias, Sceptile, Cinccino, and Volbeat. So I don't actually hate this team that much, despite putting it at 12. I think it's quite solid. The one thing that really irked me is that it feels like speed control is not its strength outside sand with drill. There's just very little ways to stop opposing threats from going off, especially with the lack of priority on this team. Also, I kind of wish there were spikes on here because Torty loves having spikes to wear down the opposition. But generally, I don't know. I think it's solid. I just think it's a bit lacking in some of the countermeasures that Gen 9 requires.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't know. I think Terratorn. I think I just have it ranked a little higher. I do think it's a very solid team. There are so many things on
Yeah,
this
I agree.
team
It's very
that
solid.
appreciate Terra. So many things could appreciate Terra on this team. It's actually insane.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you do have probably the two best on the team. I don't know. Latios is pretty damn good too, but I mean, it's hard to justify it when you have a Torn T there.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I'm pretty sure Terra Latias would be pretty expensive. So
Yeah, I think it is actually
Terra,
quite expensive.
yeah,
You're right.
it was 20 with Terra, so that's like a lot of points to spend.
That is quite a bit. I don't know. There are aspects I like to the team. There's a lot of heavy hitters, good, just naturally bulky Pokemon. I'm curious to see how Drill does with Sand. I think Terra Drill is going to be really fun, but also at the same time, I feel like if you have a Terra Torn T, you probably just want to tear it every week because it's Torn T and it can soft check damn near anything.
That's true. Yeah, Exeter doesn't necessarily need to. I do think there's going to be matchups where it will come up and it will be the right choice to Terra the Exeter. It's always possible, like on preview, the thing that you built the Torn to soft check with his Terra doesn't come, and then you can give Exeter something to pivot into that role to break down the team for it.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, yeah, I don't know. This team's interesting. I mean, good luck switching into this team. It just hits so damn hard.
Oh yeah, yeah. Drill hands prim. Like what switches in on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to feel about the poison ghost thing. I think I like it initially a lot more now than again, just like the other team where I ranked this a lot earlier and I didn't have an opinion on this, just like Tropicos. But I think I do actually have an opinion on it. I think it's like actually a pretty solid mid tier mon.
I have not actually looked into Peachorant that much. Like, it seems fine. It
It,
seems pretty decent on this team specifically too. I
yeah, it's a
think
really
this
good
team really
support.
appreciates its This team really appreciates its defensive profile as well with the poison ghost typing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just one of the best like spin blockers in the game with that naturally high physically defensive stat. I mean, just absorbing
Yeah,
knockoffs.
that's true.
I don't
True.
know. It's
Yeah.
a fun team. I'm sure there's going to be Sceptile shenanigans now that it gets Shed
Yeah.
It's got to get.
Gentil into Latias sounds kind of nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, honestly, like it gets your sand in free if you're worried about sack and T-tar, but want to get sand up 2 times. There's just
Yeah.
so many
It's.
uses. I do feel like this team is actually could be ranked a little higher by me, but
I think it's still really. I feel like.
it's
I
good.
mean, I should probably said. I think most of the teams in this division are good. Like, even though I put this 12th, I still like the team overall.
Yeah, there were only like 2 or 3 teams actually that yeah, I probably should have said this too, but 2 or 3 teams I just didn't particularly enjoy that much, I guess. Everything else has been fine though. Like everything's really good.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, good luck switching into this team. Bronson's just gonna have fun clicking buttons all
Indeed.
year. I mean, it's gonna be a good one. On to number 8. We have Vanga and the Lunar Clefs. Yeah, we had these pretty much ranked side by side, 8 and 7. You have Terra Gouging Fire, Zapdos, Terra Ogerpon, the grass one, Screamtail, Ursaluna Blood Moon, Tentacruel, Tinkaton, Mischievous, Scrafty, and Vulpix. Um, yeah, Gouging Fire is going to be a demon. I still think Iron Boulder is just a stronger mon, but I feel like Gouging Fire is probably the better overall draft mon with its versatility and whatnot.
Yeah. I've played Gouging Fire and Quick Feet this upcoming week, and I am not looking forward to it. This mon is absurd.
It's just how crazy it can just sit there and be fat with sun, especially like
Yeah.
little Vulpix, and just click Dragon Tail and Morning Sun and not do anything.
It's just Zardex that can hold an item in Terra, is how I describe it.
Yeah, it's a little less offensive, but definitely bulkier.
Yeah.
But overall, this team is a pretty fun team. I like this team a lot, actually. I'm a huge fan of Screamtail. Ursaluna Blood Moon, even without Terra, just hits so hard. It's such a good breaker. I'm
Yeah, I
just
agree
not
with
sure
that.
how I feel about the Grass Ogerpon, to be completely honest. Especially with Terra, I feel like you could have put Terra
Yeah,
somewhere else. Like maybe versatility on the Screamtail, Zapdos. I don't know.
could even have given it to Scrafty for maybe some sort of setup shenanigans.
Right, just because like, I mean, it doesn't change your type, so
Yeah. I the one thing I really don't like about this team is there's no like real elite speed. You cap out at 111 with Screamtail, and you don't even have like great Scarfers to make up for it. Like Scarf Zapdos like okay, Scarf Ogrepon is like okay, but it's not great.
yeah. I mean,
Boost. I feel like you're gonna need booster speed Screamtail a lot to be able to check things.
yeah, and I mean, I guess that's a reason to Terra the Ogerpon, so you get the immediate +1. But at the same time, it's still just a Grass Ogerpon. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many
Yeah, like
natural checks in the format that are just like gonna shut it down. Just the Grass one.
yeah, it doesn't feel great to me the Teal Mask one. Yeah,
Yeah. But I mean, overall, the team's just fantastic. Zapdos, Ursaluna, Screamtail for support. Tinkaton's a little demon. I love that thing. And even Mischievous and Scrafty, such good low tier picks for this team, honestly.
yeah. I'm curious to see how Scrafty does this gen. I think it's gonna be really solid
I
in
do,
Gen 9.
I do too. I'm really excited for that. That's what I don't know. I'm excited to see it. Vulpix, I like it. 1 point, why not? I mean, if that's what you have left over, sure.
And sure, why not? Maybe you just let Gouging Fire kill everything if you don't need a 6 mon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's definitely going to be matchups with Gouging Fire where Vulpix will come, I think, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice team, Vega. I think you'll do great with it. It's pretty fun, honestly.
Agreed.
Yeah, you want to grab the next one?
Sure. So at 7th we have Lux, Phantom Beast with Skull. We both put him pretty middle of the pack again. He has Iron Valiant, Ting Lu, Wellspring, Ogerpon, Terra Salamence, Terra Thurlage, Hatterene, Skarmory, Lantern, and Big Greedent. Uh, I this seems really solid. This team supports Iron Valiant really well, which is something I appreciate. I think Ting was the amazing partner for it, just to get those tires up so it can clean and to break down like those poisons that might want to come in on it. And also, he has two really strong Terras, and both can come in feasibly any matchup, which makes it a lot harder to prep for than when you just have one really big Terra.
Yeah, honestly, I like this team a good bit too. It's just really good. The Terra options are great. All your top tier threats are still great without Terra. You have good supporting mons, Skarm and Hat. I mean, I get Skarm, but like it's still a good spike setter. It really is. It's still good Fizz wall. I like Lantern actually. It's a solid little mon too. And
I like Lantern on this team. I agree.
Greet it, funny little one pointer. I don't know. I sniped KHD of it and I don't know. I think it was
Beautiful.
in DGBA actually here. I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah, my like one nick on this team is I kind of once again I kind of wish it had something at the really high speed tier because it feels like you're gonna need Scarf or Booster Iron Valiant to be that speed in case of threats, which I just value very highly in this generation. Also, I kind
Yeah.
of wish there's a grounded poison on here just because like toxic spikes are really annoying for this team, and a lot of your mons do not want to run boots or can't. Like Wellspring can't. Tinglu doesn't really want boots in a lot of matchups. It usually wants that lefties recovery. Cerulege, like you can boots it, but it doesn't always want it. Valiant, you almost never want boots it. So toxic spikes specifically could pose an issue if the team doesn't win the game fast enough.
Yeah, Hat's playing it really fast and loose is your only way to deal with them, really. I mean, because
Yeah, it's your only way to deal with hazards.
if you miss that magic bounce, it's I mean, good luck.
Yeah, and then they just hit you with a gunk shot or whatever you just drop. It's rough.
Yeah, because I
But
don't know.
overall, team's
Speaking
very
of
good.
T spikes, I'm not afraid to get magic bounce T spikes back because I tend to make sure I have a
That's
good
fair.
grounded poison on my team. It's not a big deal if it comes back most of the time.
Also, one kind of weird thing I noticed that I feel like bulky Terra that Terra into the fairy type specifically are really annoying for this team to break. Like, there's no really strong poison or steel, so if say like you have like a Terra Fairy gouging fire, for example, is the first one that comes to mind, it's super fat and can set up. Like, I'm not sure how this team really deals with that effectively outside like Tinglu Whirlwind, and that gets worn down really fast.
Yeah, that's a fairly good point. I mean, yeah, that's kind of funny that you're gonna have to use Skarmory some to break some fairy types because
Yeah,
I mean it hits
the red
okay,
fairies
but
aren't that bad because like Surge punches through most fairies, but like when you're getting bulkier mons and changing them to fairy, it becomes harder.
oh yeah, because you're gonna get Terra Fairy on quite a bit. I feel like actually.
Yeah, which is already the best Terra type in the game. So
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. There's still a lot of good positives about this team, and I think it has my favorite Ogre Pond form that came out. I think it's a really good form overall. Just that water absorb goes so far with it. Actually, having that on a team. Um,
yeah, I think it's a solid mon for sure.
yeah, no, it's a fun team, and Salamence with Terra just snowballs so easily. It really does.
For sure. Moxie is really strong on this thing with Terra.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's insane. A really good team looks. Yeah, you'll do fine with it.
As always, Lux drafted a very clean, top heavy, strong team.
Yeah, looks yeah, looks always does kind of just check things by the books and makes a very solid team typically.
Yep. Yep.
Um, number 6, Spies, UW Duskies. Again, same thing. I had him 6, you 7th. Terra Latios, Greninja, Landorus Therian, Blastoise, Raging Bolt with Terra, Iron Crown, Florges, Slitherwing, and Leavanny. Really good team. Latios is a damn demon. Have fun switching into that. Like, you
Terra
just,
Latios seems insane, for
like,
sure.
either catch your Luster Purge or catch that terrifying Aura Sphere. I don't care. You're dropping. It's just not fair, honestly. And I don't know. This team is just put together very well. I think it's one of my favorite teams. I really like Iron Crown. Actually, as a mon, I think it's really cool. I think it fits this well team also. The only thing I don't really love about it is that Greninja's kind of forced into spikes if you want to run that, and
And
Greninja wants to do so many other things.
Lando's kind of forced Lando's kind of forced into rocks too, which it can always do, but like it does limit some of your potential sets.
Yeah, that's the only problem with
But yeah,
having your
this
Steel
gen
type
type
being Iron
rock
Crown.
was just not that big a deal.
Right, right.
Uh, yeah. One thing that I don't love about this team is there's no encore, which in my opinion is the best move in the generation. So it can make setup kind of scary. I mean, he does a very good priority with Raging Bolt, Slitherwing, Greninja, so probably fine, but that would have been appreciated just because it can get you so much momentum just by clicking it. Also, lack of knockoff means kind of boots can be spammed super hard, which nullifies Greninja spikes. The only knock come on is Lee Danny, which is not coming ever. So
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess in that regard, it's almost better if Greninja just comes offensive anyway, so I guess it's not a big deal, but it's still just a really solid team. I think Raging Bolt with Terra is going to have
it's
some funny
very good.
matchups too.
I'm excited to see that thing in action. That thing looks super cool with Terra.
Honestly, yeah, it does. I was really hoping to see somebody Terra Blastoise just to see what happens with Shell Smash,
That would have been fun.
but I don't know how good it would be actually.
I think it would be good. I don't think it would be anything spectacular.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, overall, Spy's just extremely solid team. Have fun clicking buttons with
Yeah,
Latios,
they're yep, and watching things drop.
dropping Dracos all day. Um, yeah, you want to get this one?
Sure. So at number 5, we have Nerf, who we had ksavage had at third. I had at fourth. His team is Deoxys Speed, Terra Annihilate, Iron Moth, Dragonite, Donphan, Archaludon, Terra Gardevoir, Brute Bonnet, and Poliwrath. First of all, I'll say his team is that all the mons are viable. Maybe not Brute Bonnet, but like everything else is viable and can come to a lot of matchups, which is something I really like. Even when the top like is kind of a little top of a Dio, Annihilate, Iron Moth, Dragonite, but every mon here has like a place and can come, which is really useful. Like the only thing I know is kind of like Brute Bond's your Ghost Check. Like Brute Bond's a fine Ghost Check, but it's not a great mon. And also fairies are kind of an issue because Iron Moth is not switching into things. But overall, it seems just really strong, really good in general.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. This team's phenomenal. I guess I should have said on Spies, but from Spies' team on, I feel like every one of these teams is just really good. Just
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
really didn't know where to put a lot of these. I just kind of they're all pretty damn good. Besides the top like two, I think I pretty cemented in my eyes. But like for me,
Yeah,
but yeah, Nerf this team's phenomenal. Dio Speed and Annihilate, really good pairing. Uh, D Knight's still phenomenal. I'm really excited to see Archaludon. I think it's kind of funny actually, and I think Gardevoir is just
I'm curious to see how
oh yeah
curious to see how Arch does. This
yeah it's interesting. It's I don't know picking up stamina as an ability on the evolution was just I don't know that made it really interesting to me.
has such a crazy ability. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw Gypsy do work with Terra Gardevoir, so I'm confident Nerf could do the same.
Oh yeah, yeah. Terra Gardevoir's that was fun to watch Gypsy run that last season.
Super underrated threat, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It just hits hard. It's a really good mon, and honestly, its abilities are super underrated too. They're not given enough credit either.
Yeah, Trace is really solid. I mean, it's only I guess like Graz like okay, but Trace is the big one. Yeah,
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, what you said, Brute Bonnet. I don't know, like decent stats, but it's just the speed tier and the
it's
typing just kind of hold it back a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's fine with what it does. It'll do okay here, I think.
I think it fits on this team. I just don't like them on.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at with it. Yeah, kind of the same thing with Polyrath. Actually, I kind of understand the pick here. I just that's not like a mon I care about really normally.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
Yeah, that makes sense.
what I think the thing that stood out to me was Donphan as your spinner, but I mean I think Donphan got Encore this gen, did it not?
It did, it did. Donphan got on Chorus Gen for some reason, like
Yeah.
every other Mon in this generation.
So I mean, even though it's a slow Encore, it's actually pretty good. I really like it on Donphan. That's really great for it actually.
I think it's a really fits on its sets very well. Yeah,
Yeah. Um. Yeah, really fun team. Can't wait to watch your matches this season. That's for sure.
yeah. These I'm very excited to see Terra annihilate bone some people. I love that Mon.
Yeah, I'm really jealous. I still have not had a chance to use that thing with Terry yet, but one day, one day. Number four. I had him at four. You had him at two. It's hopeless. The
Yeah,
illustrious Auroras. Terra and Amorous. Sheesh. Garchomp, Weavile, Empoleon, Rotom Heat, Scizor, Terra Serena, Meloetta, and Okie Dokie. So, I mean, yeah, it's a really good team. I think it's just put together really well and covers everybody's weakness as well. I think you can formulate some really good game plans and get some good momentum going on with this team. And then an Amresh as your Terra user. I really don't know what to expect, but I feel like it's just going to be a damn demon, especially with the introduction of Stellar. Uh,
It was already so good without Stellar, and now it just opens up your kit even more. Allows you to run special sets of Contrary, which you couldn't do before.
right, right.
But yeah, and Amber's gonna be really strong. I think this team is it's very well put together. The Mons cover each other really well. Kind of hits all the marks you want to hit. Terra Serena's kind of weird. I kind of get it.
I kind of like it
I
actually.
don't
I
know.
respect it honestly.
It's interesting. I kind of feel like Meloetta might be a better user of it, but I don't know how much the point jump for Meloetta is. So that's just that's my not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's fair. I think it was. Let me look real quick. The only other thing.
They were both.
Oh, they were
This was a
both.
1 point jump, and Meloetta was a 2 point jump. So fair enough.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, that's. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. I tried Meloetta, um, the first season of DGBA this gen, when we did the open season, and I don't know. It's not as good as I thought it was gonna be. I ended up getting rid
Yeah,
of Terra on it just because like it was so lackluster. Actually, I just felt
that's
like it was
fair.
better to keep it in its original typing most of the time.
One thing I do want to mention is this team's breaking is insane. Like, and the Amherst, Garchomp, Weavile, Meloetta, Okidogi just all hit like trucks, and very few things will be able to stand up to them. And then having the queening options with Scissor and Weavile both to just pick off things at the end game is really good.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. This is a really good team, and on this team, Okidogi kind of reminds me of like a Buzzfall in past generations on this team in a weird way. Obviously without Roost,
I could
different
say that.
typings and stuff, but like it kind of fills the same role. I think it's gonna be really good here, and it's just gonna be damn annoying.
I agree. It's definitely a good team for Okidogi.
Yeah, really solid team. Excited to see Empoleon this gen. It's gonna be fun to watch too. And Garchomp's
Yeah,
just
I tried Empoleon in a league. It
Garchomp.
was really solid. It was
Is it
really
okay?
solid.
Yeah, I kind of figured it would be. Really solid team, Hopeless. I'm sure you'll do fine. Can you get? Are you gonna promote a speed boost? We'll see. We'll see.
So
Um, yeah. On to number three. Yeah.
we have here Carolina Roaring Moon, coached by OG Albina, with Terra Regieleki, Samurai Sui, Rillaboom, Jirachi, Lycanroc Dusk, Kyurem, Terra Comfey, Palisand, and Weezing. Ksavage has this as number one. I had it down a bit at number five, but still pretty high. Do you want to go into why you had it at the very top?
Yeah, I think Terra Lucky was Sumi and Zamrot, Rillaboom, and Kiram with the supporting cast there is just. I mean, good luck dealing with that. I mean, you just can't stop it.
Yeah, the offense is insane on here. I My one thing is I feel like some of the support pieces are really passive, and I think that could be abused, but I don't think they're passive to the point where he can't deal with it, especially with Terra Lecky outspeeding everything, even if they boost or scarf, and having so much priority. So, like, generally, even with the passivity, I think it's not going to pose as much of a problem as you might think.
Yeah, that's fair. I do wish they had the points to tear the dusk, but I get how they don't on this team with
Yeah.
all the top threats they do. Comfey's solid. I feel like they have a good spin blocker here for Samurott. Actually, Palossand's pretty bulky. It can be a
That's what
momentum
it is.
suck, but
Allison is
like I feel like you can double with it
it's not
pretty
the
well.
worst. It's not the worst.
Yeah. But I mean, just the spikes, the revenging with Rillaboom and Terrain, Aleki, Wish support with Jirachi to keep things healthy. Because Regieleki can be deceiving with its HP being pretty much filled like to the max every time because of its speed tier not mattering half the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, this is just a really good team. Like, just really good all around.
yeah, I just think
Not really much to criticize.
no, I don't know. I know your removals Aleki, but like you don't really want to do that. But
Who
like
cares?
it's Aleki. Like if you want to get the spin off, you're gonna get it off. So it's good at it. I just feel like this team
I
has
mean,
way too much
that
power and good luck keeping hazards on the field. If
also,
OG doesn't want them on the field, and I know Ogle typically builds like I don't. They typically build where they don't. worry about hazards. They'll try to stack you back. I know that's how they build
I
typically.
mean,
So
that's pretty good here. He has the best stacker in the format, in my opinion. Stammer Edge. And even then, like a lot of these monsters can just run boots and not care about the hazards even if you can't remember. Like I'd argue almost all of the top six can run boots feasibly, just not give a shit about the hazards at all.
honestly, most of the time, yeah, you're right. I completely see that.
Let's say Viking Rock. Viking Rock doesn't really want boots. But other than that, the rest of them like don't mind them at all.
Yeah, I don't know. This team just, I just think it's the best team here easily. It's just broken to me. Very good offense and very good support
It's
pieces
really
for it.
strong. It definitely deserves its placement near the top for sure. Even potentially at the top.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Next one, number two. What do we got here? Apologies in the Whoop Whoopers. It's a funny logo. I can dig it. Little hatchet man thing on there. Kind of a reverse actually of last time. I have this one at 5, and you have them as the
Yep.
best team.
Yeah, exact
Apologies.
reverses we had for Giovanni.
Yeah, yeah. Spectrier, Terra King Gambit, Quaquavel, Sandy Shocks, Mesprit, Baxcalibur, Terra Granbull, Swalot, and Moltres. I mean, I don't think there's many flaws on this team, to be honest. But do you want to talk about why they're your number one?
I just think everything pairs together beautifully. I see the only thing that I could even consider criticizing is the speed drop from Spectre of Sage. And normally I don't care about speed tiers, but like that 130 to well is kind of an important range. But other than that, like this team is just good bulk, good offense. Everything fits together really well. Just kind of hits everything you want to be on your team. It's just really good. Like
Yeah,
I just don't see many things that I would want that it doesn't have.
yeah. I guess for me, the only thing I think Sandy Shocks is just not my favorite mon. Uh, but the speed tier was the only reason I dropped it down. I think to number 5. Honestly, that gap right there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Eh,
It's a big gap.
but to counteract that, I mean, you have some of the best priority in the game, honestly. So it's
Yeah,
really not
I
that
mean,
big a
you have
deal.
Sucker Punch Gambit, so
Yeah.
you know.
Spectre Gambit, great pivoting U-turn fighting type there on Quaquavel that can just snowball so easily in itself. And honestly, I kind of like having your fairy being like a bulky, low tier fairy this gen. Unless you get an Amorous, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see outside like Enamorous and Valiant at the top. A lot of the mid fairies are not great. Yeah,
Yeah, like I'd take Screamtail, but other than that, probably not. Primarina, I guess now this gen, but it's a different story. It's just a really good team, though. I even like Swallowed as your 1 point. It's probably one of the better 1 pointers, I think, for what it provides.
I'm a known Swalot supporter. I think he is a very good one pointer.
Yeah, it is. It's. I mean, what it has Encore, T spikes. It's just good knockoff. I think still.
It got knocked in the DLC. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
it's just really like its bulk isn't bad. It's just like a good mon.
This is gonna turn into a Swallow video only. Fuck the rest of the PRs.
I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that.
I know some people don't rate Moltres super high, but I'm a huge fan of Moltres as well. I think it fits really well in this team as well.
Yeah, I think it's a decent fit here. I think its ability to punish opponents who don't play around it correctly is very nice and appreciated here.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just a good team.
It's
Um,
just really solid, yeah.
yeah, and then our final team. Do you want to get this one? The last one.
Sure. Number one, we have Joshua and the Kuming Clefables. Hard to say that with a straight face. Ksavage had it 2, I had 3. We both had it very high. And Josh has Dragapult, Terra Iron Bundle, Infernape, Metagross, Crocodile, Electros, Brambleghast, Braviary, and Glare and Weezing. I mean, Dragapult Bundle. I don't know what all else there's really to say.
And you don't even gotta
Like,
miss your hydro pumps. Oh, it's so good.
it's this, and the rest of the offense is super strong with Infernape, Metagross, Crook, even Braviary. The defense isn't like amazing, but it doesn't really need it. It has fine pivots and like everything in the bottom six can all pivot in on things that you need it to. Bramble, I think it was awfully underpriced at 6. I think it's really good on this team.
Yeah, it is really good
Yeah,
actually.
I just don't see many rules to abuse here. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Galarian Weezing, but I think it fits really well on this team. It kind of patches holes the team had, like the big fighting weakness that is you move the double ghost, like neither of them really have the bulk to repeatedly switch in, but Weezing kind of handles that.
Yeah, I like it, and having like a bulky fairy here with your Terra type probably never going to turn into a fairy, or not as much
Yeah,
with this team
almost definitely not.
is really good. I know. I don't know. I think the only reason I didn't put this thing as one is because like everyone keeps saying Infernape's a fraud, and I guess I'm not completely sold yet either. But
Yeah,
I still think it's going to be
I'm
pretty
unsure
good.
on that, but yeah, I think this team is very strong. It wasn't my number one, but it's definitely a contender to be number one,
Yeah, yeah. No,
and
it's
it weighted it super high. Yeah, just really strong.
anything on this team could come any week. I think Electros is like probably the best low tier electric in my opinion. If you don't want something speedy like Jolteon with Terra, I think it's just a phenomenal
Yeah,
mon. Has good
it's the best
bulk.
bulky one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. Now that Vikavolt lost Roost, I think it takes that throne.
Yeah, Victor. Oh, losing Roost hurt that thing
Yeah,
a
horribly.
lot.
um,
Yeah, they're Pole Bundle. That's all. That's that's this team.
this team is yeah, have fun. I don't know. It's just really good too. Dragapult bundle. Metagross is just gonna be a demon this thing too with heavy slam. It just hits so
It
hard.
seems really good now. Psychic Fangs too, so you don't miss your Zens anymore.
I was giving somebody a mock the other day, and I'm not gonna say who just in case this video goes up and they see. I think they might have already played, but that Metagross with banded heavy slam, just Jesus. Good luck
Yeah,
switching into that thing. It just doesn't.
yeah. It's hits the boosted powerhouse moves just hits so hard now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't really have too much else to say. It's gonna be a fun season to watch. For all you that watch this, just I'll throw a reminder here. DM me or Slick if you want to put your transactions in. That's how it works here. We'll post them for you. Um, yeah, thanks for joining Endless. It's a fun one. I'm looking forward to the season, and
That was fun to do it.
yeah, for sure. All right, see you later, boys and point. Have a good one.
Peace.